Can we take a step back, G? We were just talking before we started the pod. I was probably the second or third episode. Tyler, in the room, producer of every episode, was the first. Our buddy was the third. Can we go back to like
Mr. Ishan?
shout out the brainchild that is Tampa Bay Developer Pod? I just don't think there's enough.
The origin story?
Yeah, the origin. Like, there's not enough light shined on you and why this podcast was started. I think everybody understands that you have a deep love for Tampa, but what really sparked this? And then let's talk about like what sparked this. What the process was like getting started, like bootstrapping a podcast, and then watching it grow over the year, a little over a year that you've been doing this, and then what your vision is to grow this thing.
I mean, in terms of starting it, not much, right? Like anyone can start a podcast with a couple cameras and mics. But I always had quality in mind. So from the jump, I tried to buy like the best, camera and the best microphone and all that. And I think initially that's why a lot of people started to watch, because it wasn't like BS from the beginning.
Right,
you could actually watch it and the sounded good and looked good and all that. But as far as starting the pod, I mean, my love of Tampa, right? That's why I did it. I was focused on being a realtor at the time, also a broker, right? So I wanted to do some sort of a content piece for real estate. And a lot of realtors were doing, the thing on TikTok where they're like pointing at all the disappearing icons and like little things, and they're doing the dances and everything. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something a little more maybe serious, a little more informative. And I was like, podcast, like that's a good move. So it started out as a kind of a content piece for my business, but I also love Tampa, and I wanted to do almost like an informational show for people that have moved here over the last few years. There's a lot of new people in Tampa, and they don't know kind of some of the culture and the history about our city, Cigar City and Ybor City and all that sort of stuff. So from the jump, I wanted to get on historians, and we had on Scott Daichi, who wrote the book Cigar City Mafia, that talks about the underworld of the Tampa mafia scene. And like that, he was episode, I don't know, like 8. You remember Tyler? He was early on.
What was it like in the early stages?
So it just developed.
Yeah, but getting guests at the beginning, right? New podcast,
friends at first, right?
Yeah, right.
Tyler, yeah, you'd have to scroll. Oh, you already scrolled back. Yeah, Studio HB, Frank, there you are, episode 3. Dude, it was just, episode 2 is my cousin, Lat, St. Pete Pop Art. He's since opened that art studio. I got to get him back on.
Yeah.
But you can see, like, before episode 1 on the page, I was just posting Tampa stuff, growth, development. Pause there, Tyler, because I added in some of my projects too. So it's like a lot of development stuff, history, and then before that, the reason I started the page was to show off my projects. So I was like flipping some houses. I had some commercial projects, like rentals, stuff like that.
Wow, look at that bad boy.
Yeah, that was the first
Miss
little
Peaches.
commercial building we bought. Yeah, there's the before and after. Go to the inside, Tyler. I don't know how old this picture is. This is early on.
Shout out Miss Peaches.
Shout out Miss Peaches.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy's pup. So yeah, I mean, I started it to show off some renovations I was doing, but the podcast idea came way later. And initially, I don't know, I guess I just didn't have the balls to invite any big guests or anything like that. I just wasn't thinking like that. I was just like, let's get some friends on, some real estate guys. As Sean, Serenity Capital Management, talk about what he was up to. You were in the real estate space, lending space. Actually, you weren't lending at the time, right?
The first, no, I was talking with iFund.
You were talking with iFund, but
I
you weren't.
I was with TD Wood.
TD Wood.
Yeah, out of Miami.
But we had you on to talk about Studio HB, the rendering you did. And all that.
I was just super stoked about that. Because I hadn't seen.
Then we had Max Herman, Ybor City Walking Tours. He was awesome. He's been on twice. I want to get him on again. That was episode 7, like digging deep into Tampa history. Yeah, so we're starting
to get there. The guests start to grow.
The vibe evolved, and then like mute that, Tyler, but click that video. So my family's been in Tampa for like 100+ years, and the story is super cool. My family came from Sicily to Tampa. My great-great-grandparents rolled cigars. They worked in Ybor City.
What's that?
That's an old bottle from Ybor City Bottling Company. That's a level from my family's old hardware store that was opened in 1926. And then on the left is my great-grandmother Rose's cigar rolling equipment. So I don't know, like I just had this personal connection through family to old Tampa. So really early on, I wanted to show that off because I think it's cool, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people moving here don't know that history, and they've reached out and said it's cool too.
I definitely didn't.
So go back, Tyler. You can scroll up too. You can see how the guests evolved along the way, right? Like I wanted to get in touch at the University of Tampa and talk to them.
Yeah, you've pulled from all over the
pulling
city.
from all over. And then as I've pulled from all over, hearing those different perspectives have led me to different guests too. If you enjoyed this clip, click here for the full episode and make sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.